Okay, so not all bad days with living with a parent or a family member or a friend that has dementia, Alzheimer's. It's bad days. So you have some funny days. I can recall at the early stages with mom living with me that when I would return home from work, she was like, "Hey, come here, come here." So I knew either my sister had done something that my mother needed to report to me about, or my cousin. So I'll come in the room. Now, during this stage, you have to remember they're aging backwards. This disease causes them to, you know, start to have reactions and feelings and things like, or behaviors like someone that is high school, middle school, and going backwards. So at this stage, you know how chatty women are, or when in their earlier years before they mature and become professionals. So she was in this little gossiping mode, and she had to tell what my sister had done to her that day. So she'll say, "Come here, come here." So I'll go in her room and I'm like, "Yeah, what's going on? What did that girl do today?" And so she'll be looking around me and looking, try to see if she see my sister before she started to tell on her. And she'll tell me, I say, "Really? You want me to get her?" And she'll say, "Yeah, get her." And so it'll be a big laugh later on when I go talk to my sister. But like, "Girl, let me tell you, your mama done told on you. She didn't tell what you did, what you said, what you didn't do, what you should have been doing." And so we would just laugh because it'll be like story after story of my mother telling. That's totally was out of her personality. But that also, when I came back and told her, it was like, you told on her. So you wanted me to go bust her in the eye or do something like that. And she'd just bust out laughing. So we'll have very good moments and times and stuff like that. Or I came home and she didn't get her lunch at the right time. She was like, "Yeah, I just finished eating." And I'm like, "It's 3 something in the afternoon." "Well, they just gave me my food. Was it good?" "No, I don't know what it was." So it was just, we'll just have a time of our life just talking about different things. She'll say, I'll still allow her, to have some kind of independence. So I'll say, "Okay, I'm going grocery shopping." And then anybody knows I love big box stores. So we'll go to like a Costco or a Sam's Club. And in those stores, they have the mobility machines. And so she'll get on her little car and I'll call my sister immediately because it's going to be a whole experience. I'm like, "Oh, Lord," she done got on a car and she's gone. Like soon as we get in the door, she get her car and she's zooming off. I don't even know where she's zooming to get, but she's flying around the store. Now, I don't know if people consciously see older people in those machines and automatically think like, okay, they're old, I'm gonna forget them or excuse them. But I had to go ready to fight each time we went shopping because that song, it was a song that came out early 20s. It said, "Move, B, get out of my way, get out of my." Lord knows, I'll be on the phone with my sister, like, "Let me go find your mama," because I'm pretty sure she about to run somebody down in this little mobility device. And so I see her darting down aisles and zooming in and out of people, coming up to them, breaking. I like, "Oh, Lord," I'm looking at the people like, "Please, Lord, don't have these people swing on my mama." I would go catch up with her, grab her, and be like, "Slow down. Let's get this. What are we trying to get?" But there were many days that I was wearing gym shoes because this lady, and I'd be on the phone, be like, "This lady is about to have me fighting up in this store, get my membership revoked because of her driving." This is one of the reasons why we had to take her keys from her car, because she was flying down the streets, almost doing donuts in the middle of the street. She'd fly down the street, yell out the window, and go back up the street. Thank God we lived at this time where she was staying on a dead end street because, they were calling and say, "Your mama is in her car again." The same thing she was doing in her car is the same thing she would do in those cars and those mobility devices at the big box store. So it would used to be a whole adventure. I used to be stressed. I mean, like, we're going to get in here, we're going to grab these items, what she need, what she want, get her back into the car, and we're going to get home to our safe space, because I was so concerned and worried that, yeah, we're going to be bucking. We were going to be, and not dancing. So those are some incidents she was telling on my son. if he didn't come in and say goodnight or spend some time with her, because I would have him go in there and spend some time with her, just talk to her about his day. I let her ask questions, he answered them. Even to go play her some music. She'll go play music. I know one time I was playing with my drum, and she was spending some time out on the front porch, just people watching and telling us what she's seen and what people were wearing and how they're reacting, which are things you want them to do. You still want them to connect with the reality they're in, and also have them talking and thinking and exploring and seeing things that they can relate and you can dialogue about. That's one thing. You got to keep them talking. You have to keep them active. And so I had a drum, and I decided the flattest drone in the house for whatever reason. This is a very expensive drone that I had in the house, and she's like, "Oh Lord, that thing is gonna get me." And one of her sayings was, "Thank God for Jesus." And so I don't know. I landed the drone, then I took her outside so she can actually see the operations of the drone. So I was like, "You want to operate it?" She said, "No." I was like, "Thank God," because this drone costs too much money, and I didn't want her sending the drone somewhere crashing into something. Then I'd be responsible. But those are we had a lot of fun, laughable times. She even laughed at stuff. As many years into this, and like I said, we were going in a reversal stage, and she's still cognitive of people names. So who's talking to her, or who she wants to respond to her. So she knows our name, she knows our characteristics. She's at this point, she even tries to write. We had her go into for a financial institution to sign some papers, and she exquisitely wrote her last name. The first name and forming some of the letters were kind of off, but she still was in her stubborn mood. She goes to the doctor didn't directly talk to her. She won't respond. I'll get home and say, after my sister had taken her, "How was, your doctor visit?" What is, "I don't know." Like, you don't know, you were there. And the doctor, she said, "Well, he didn't talk to me." And so I stopped talking to him and I stopped paying attention. So I would have to find out from my sister what's going on. But that's another thing. Make sure you're taking your loved ones into their appointments. That physician, that nurse, or those people are interacting with them. They're still capable to respond. Even if it's a head shake, yes, no, or whatever, they're capable of responding. Do not take their independence from them. Allow them to still communicate, still to be active in the decision makings and stuff. And so that was something was very felt very strongly about. And so as we further went in for either dental appointments, thank God it was with one of my cousins, or doctor's appointments, or if nurses come to the home and they want to directly talk to myself or my sister, we were like, "No, she's capable of responding. You need to have that conversation with her. We'll document the stuff. And if there are other follow-up questions, we have the record of it, but you have to talk to her. You have to make sure that people are talking to your loved ones. They are funny. There are some good times and bad times. There's sometimes you're gonna cry. There's sometimes you need just to vent and talk to other people. There are times you're gonna laugh because you want to cry. Trust me, there are going to be many of those times. I thank God for the friends and associates and family members I have in my life, because I can call them and say, "Hey, listen, this is what's going on." Times I should be crying, I'm laughing. My sister and I, we are hee ha ha, crying tears of just laughter, because no one ever wrote this book. No one ever said that you will be this an adult taking care of an adult, which is your mom, which is reversing almost in a childlike stage. But enjoy the process, learn from the process, document the process, because those are the times when you're exchanging with other people, you have questions, you can connect with that person. Because I'm telling you, if I didn't have the space or the people in my space, in my circle that I can talk to, I don't know if I would be as strong as I am currently today, if I would be able to go through holding a full job, raising a child, and taking care of my mother, as well as keeping my health. The other thing you want to do is have time for personal health. So I would go out at 10, 11 o'clock at night, because of course my metabolism was changing. My eating habits was like at 12, 2 o'clock in the morning. After everything else was taken care of, I was taking care of everyone, but I wasn't taking care of me. And so I started to lightly walk, run that time of night, connect with God, talk to my friends, or just get some me time. You're definitely going to have to factor in me time. One thing I wasn't able to factor in was sleep. So I was, for about a year or so, living off 2 hours of sleep a day, fully functioning. When I say when my body shut down, it would shut down. Unfortunately, sometimes it would be at a light. Sometimes we'll have to pull into like a shopping center just to get a quick little siesta or something. Balancing your sleep time with your life as a parent, and then now a caregiver, as well as doing all the other professional responsibilities you may have to do. You have to try to balance that. I had to totally get rid of some of the things that I was doing because I didn't want my child or my niece to suffer, and miss their childhood. So I make sure I'm at every practice, every game. I am the taxi. I am doing everything supportive. If it's a play, whatever it is, if it's a performance, I am there. That's one thing I can do. Now, doing rehearsals, I might be in the car asleep or in the chair asleep or something, but I want to make sure that the kids are eating properly. They had home cooked meals, that I was present in whatever activity they were doing so that they could see that. And then I also had time for my mother. And then on the back end, I would make sure I had time for me. But enjoy the experience, document, love on your friends, your family member, whoever it is, because it is going to be times when you want to cry, but you can laugh it out and still get that fulfillment you need to go on and push forward. And also pray. I mean, Jesus know I've been calling on his name for my mom, calling on his name for my son. It's been a whole world of, Jesus and I are probably real close now. We're real close. So just enjoy that space. I would say this is part 5, a little turn on it. I'm going to continue this series because it goes from active to inactive and where we are currently. But this is What the Cook Reads. I am not a medical professional. I'm just giving you some real world life experiences and something that you can connect with. If you have any comments, questions, please contact me in the comment section. I am here to answer your question. And I will probably have my sister in just to give you some other advice and some things and some steps that she's taken to make sure our mom is secure. She was up this morning talking.